Hey, welcome to EPN. My name is Victor Lucas, and we bring you the latest in everything cool every single day. Today's rundown is going out to Salmonax, who just discovered our Splatoon 2 interview and is a huge fan. Thank you so much, Salmonax. This rundown is all yours. The new Super Smash Bros. Game is going to be playable sooner than you think. Nintendo has announced that they'll be holding two massive esports tournaments at E3 this June, one for last year's Splatoon 2 and another for the upcoming Switch version of Super Smash Bros. The Splatoon 2 tournament, known as the Splatoon 2 World Championship, will be open to players all over the world, with the top 4 teams competing for the title of World Champion. Qualifiers for that begin on April 21st within the game, so start practicing. As for the new Super Smash Bros., that tournament is happening as part of the annual Super Smash Bros. Invitational, but unlike Splatoon 2, it will only be open to a select group of pro gamers invited by Nintendo because the game itself obviously isn't out yet. The good news is that this will give fans everywhere a chance to see the game in action. We're all very anxious to learn more following the game's announcement with a short teaser video earlier this month, so hopefully this will give us a better idea of what to expect. Nintendo's E3 tournaments take place on June 11th and 12th. The new Smash Bros. Is expected to launch later this year. Sailors, take note because the new pirate game, Sea of Thieves, has set sail with stormy waters. The new game launched on the Xbox One and PC earlier this week, but has already run into big trouble. For starters, players all over the world are encountering login issues, unable to access the game, especially during peak times. In a video released this morning, the developers at Rare say that the login issues are a result of overloaded servers, with far more people trying to play the game than they had anticipated.
We have seen unprecedented numbers coming into Sea of Thieves and playing Sea of Thieves.
The overloaded servers have caused other issues within the game, particularly with the matchmaking process, which takes much longer than it should. Another major problem is that certain features aren't available within the game, like achievements, rewards, and even items that players have previously unlocked. Rare promises that they have all hands on deck working around the clock to fix the problems. This is obviously very bad publicity for the game right out of the gate and could hurt it in the long run, even after the problems are resolved. It's hard not to draw comparisons between Sea of Thieves and Sony's failed No Man's Sky. That game was also plagued with issues when it launched, and although it eventually got better, the damage was done and it never fully recovered. Hopefully, Sea of Thieves doesn't meet the same fate and end up in Davy Jones's locker. Rare hopes to release updates and patches very soon. You might be able to take on the massive sci-fi game Cyberpunk 2077 with your friends, but you might have to wait for the next-gen consoles. Several big details about the game have been revealed by developer CD Projekt Red, namely that it might have multiplayer and might be a next-gen release. Speaking with investors, studio president Adam Kaczynski revealed that although they're planning to launch the game as a single-player experience, they might add online multiplayer at some point after launch. This would be a big change of pace for the studio given the emphasis on single-player narratives in their previous work. They've already said that Cyberpunk 2077 will be their biggest project yet and have even opened 2 new studios just to help out with development, so adding multiplayer would certainly give those new studios plenty of work. As for platforms, Kaczynski says that the game is using very advanced technology and they're ready to interface with future generations. This seems to imply that it will be released on next-gen platforms like the PS5 and Xbox One too, but we'll have to wait and see. Cyberpunk 2077 doesn't have a release window yet, but it's expected to be shown off at E3. With all their big Marvel and Star Wars movies, Disney hasn't forgotten about one of their other sci-fi franchises. The Tron series is about to get its first ever Lego set. Disney and Lego have unveiled the Tron Legacy Dual Light Cycle set based on the 2010 Tron sequel. It gives fans 2 stylish light cycles to build and also includes cute little Lego versions of 3 of the film's characters, Sam Flynn, Cora, and Rinsler. The concept for the set was first proposed last year by fans through the Lego Ideas crowdsourcing platform, and the idea was popular enough that Lego worked out a deal with Disney to assemble it for real. The set includes a total of 230 Lego pieces and hit stores on March 31st. Disney hasn't really done very much with the Tron franchise ever since Legacy underperformed at the box office. They've instead been focusing their sci-fi efforts on the Star Wars galaxy, but hopefully they'll find some space on the grid for more new Tron content. The rivalry between the 2 biggest battle royale games is heating up. The makers of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds are adding an event mode to the game, apparently in a direct response to their biggest rival, Fortnite Battle Royale, which added its own event mode in December. Like similar modes in other games, the Battlegrounds event mode will give players custom matches with a rotating set of parameters, which will only be available for a limited time. The first event mode will feature 8-person teams with double the number of rifle drops, which isn't too fancy, but developer Bluehole says that this is just the start and future events will be much more exciting. That begins rolling out this week. Over in Fortnite, developer Epic Games just began their latest event, Blitz Mode, which features faster matches and is directly aimed at the game's new mobile players. If the rivalry between Fortnite and Battlegrounds is forcing the developers to innovate and cook up new ideas, it's not such a bad thing. Both games are super popular, with Fortnite earning $126 million last month, beating Battlegrounds for the first time, which earned an almost as impressive $103 million. And that wraps us up for the rundown today. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow with a brand new EP Live, so tune in for that. In the meantime, check out the other content that we've been building, and if you dig it, hit subscribe, that little bell, and if you're so inclined, that sponsorship button too.